100.3 FM, KORN.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of our Corn Jam. And with us, very special guest today, and that's Corey Cox joining us. Corey, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're so very welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Corey.
Grew up in central Indiana, Pendleton, Indiana, and been out on the road and doing this whole music thing for 4 or 5 years now, professionally, if you want to call it that. And but I played college baseball for a couple years at Anderson University and decided I was going to give this thing a shot and haven't looked back since. And it's been good, man. It's taken me to a lot of new places, played 16, 17 different states, and I just played out of the country for the first time a couple weeks ago on that country cruise in which Trace Atkins was escorted off of. I'm sure you have all heard about that. But yeah, so I got to be on that, and a lot of good opportunities have come up, and but I'm still up here in Indiana most of the time, Nashville part-time. I go back and forth and do that whole thing and just play a lot of the Midwest and play Indiana quite a bit too.
Was there a defining moment, Corey, where you said, okay, this is really what I want to do for a living?
I'll tell you when it was, and you're going to laugh because it was the point of playing on Friday nights when I was in college and playing until 1 in the morning and then getting out at about 2:30 or 3, tearing down my equipment, getting back to my house at 4:30, and then getting up at 6 for baseball practice. That was kind of the point. I was like, okay, I got to make a decision here. And you know, I just met my manager, who's still my manager today, and we had a lot of good things going, and I, you know, we worked well together, and so I took a chance, and like I said, just haven't really looked back since.
You're here to play some music, though.
Absolutely.
Right? You brought your guitar with you here. What's our first song going to be here this morning?
Well, I wrote this song. It's a new song. It's actually not on any of my records that I have out, but this past year I had some really good opportunities to start writing with some of the greatest songwriters in country music, and one of those guys I've been writing with is Rivers Rutherford, who's got a ton of #1 hits. So I'll play a song that he and I wrote. It's called Call You Mine. Call You Mine.
All right, here he is live in the KORN Country studios. It's Corey Cox.
Hey girl, how you been? Never thought I'd see you again, at least not hanging around this town. Yeah, me, I'm doing okay. I saw your mama the other day, said she hadn't seen you much around. Now all you got to say to me is that I could have called. Well, I agree. I could have called you crazy for walking out on the strongest thing, the life, the love you made with me. And I could have called you liar for the promises you didn't keep, and saying that you'd never leave. I'd never try to change your mind. So if you said that you were here for good this time, I'd still call you mine. So you went and got hypnotized by those big city lights. I guess something must have broke that spell, 'cause there you are, and here I am, hoping you'll reach for my hand, even after putting me through hell. So you're wanting me to call you now, smiling, writing your new number down. I ought to call you crazy for walking out on the strongest thing, the life, the love you made with me. And I ought to call you liar for the promises you didn't keep, and saying that you'd never leave. I'd never try to change your mind. So if you said that you were here for good this time, I still call you mine. I ought to call you liar for the promises you didn't keep, and saying that you'd never leave. I'd never try to change your mind. So if you say you're here to stay for good this time, I'll just call you mine. Yeah, yeah. Hey girl, how you been? Never thought I'd see you again, at least not hanging around this town.
Corey, what's next? You've been spending a lot of time in Nashville. Are you close to cutting a deal, or what's the latest?
We're kind of on that brink. We've got a lot of opportunities and some doors that have opened up, and nothing's set in stone yet. But some great opportunities have come up, and like we were just talking off air, I just got out of the studio with Toby Keith and recorded some songs with him, and he produced them, and so we've got those now, and obviously they're unreleased, and just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with those, and but in the meantime, just trying to fill up the summer tour schedule, and it's been going well so far.
All right, what's our next song we're going to hear?
Well, I figured I'd do a fun one to not make everybody depressed going to work this morning. But so I wrote this song, and it's a fun song, and it's a drinking song. It's called "Wake Up Drunk."
All right, I like the title. All right, here's Corey Cox on the KORN Jam here in the KORN Country Studios.
We went out last night to drown a week of work and find a hell of a time. It felt like it'd been forever since liquor in my liver got to spend some time together. Hazy, kinda crazy, over the top maybe, but if I know me, I was quite the sight to see. And there was beer and margaritas, whiskey and tequila, fireball flowing like a waterfall. Lost my wallet, lost my phone, heard I took a cabbie home. I didn't know they came out this far. Safe to say I drank my way right out of that funk. 'Cause you know you had a good night when you wake up drunk. Since when did I think it'd be a good idea to buy the bar a round of drinks? My friends are rubbing it in, laughing about the drunk text I sent my ex-girlfriend. It was a hazy, kinda crazy, over the top maybe, and they keep telling me that I was quite the sight to see. On the beer and margaritas, whiskey and tequila, fireball flowing like a waterfall. Lost my wallet, lost my phone, heard I took a cabbie home. I didn't know they came out this far. Safe to say I drank my way right out of that funk. Well, you know you had a good night when you wake up drunk. And there was beer and margaritas, and there was whiskey and tequila, and there was beer and margaritas, whiskey and tequila, fireball flowing like a waterfall. Lost my wallet, lost my phone, heard I took a cabbie home. I didn't know they came out this far. Safe to say I drank my way right out of that funk. Well, you know you had a big time when it calls for a rewind. Time to say goodnight when you wake up drunk. Yeah, man, when you wake up drunk. Chalk it up to a good night, man, when you wake up drunk.
Do you have a website where folks can download your music and listen to more of it?
Absolutely. It's just CoreyCoxMusic.com, and it's COREYCOX. And same thing on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm on pretty much every social media site, I think, that exists that's at least relevant to today. I'm not on MySpace anymore. I got rid of that.
Is anybody on MySpace?
I don't even know.
My goodness. I didn't even know it still was there. But I guess it is. Hey, do you want to fire up another song?
Sure. All
right.
Absolutely. I'll do one. Those are two new songs, so I'll do one off of one of the records I got out.
Okay.
It's a song called That'll Take You Back.
Awesome. One more time. Here's Corey Cox here on the KORN Jam here in the KORN Country Studios.
3.
Every time I pop a top on a can of Coors Light, I'm sitting by Lake Cicero, and it's in 1995. Every time I'm driving by a high school baseball game, I swear I can hear my family shouting out my name, and that'll take you back. And that'll take you back. Every time I catch a hint of obsession in the air, I remember autumn and that summer that we shared. When I see an old man wearing Big Smith overalls, I think about the last day that I spent with my grandpa, and that'll take you back. Yeah, and that'll take you back. Back to when the world was small and dreams were big and life was long. Love was what you mean to be a man. Just when I think those days are gone, some little something comes along and brings to mind the good times and the bad, and that'll take you back. Whoa, and that'll take you back. Every time the phone rings in the middle of the night, I pray before I answer that everything's alright. Since that night the mama called to tell me about my dad, said if you want to say goodbye, you better get here fast. Whoa, that'll take you back. Oh, yeah, that'll take you back. And that'll take you back, way back.
Wow, that's amazing. Great stuff right there.
Thank you very much.
Cox right there, live here on the KORN Jam here in the KORN Country Studios.